Before 2017, China took most of the worldwide plastic, but in 2017, China decided not to take plastic because lots of it was contaminated and they didn't have a market for soft plastics. And as a response, the department, along with the 3 waste regions, got together with REPAC and the waste industry to come up with a common new recycling list. At the same time, we approached the department and the regions and asked them, can we help you? Can we run 650 recycling workshops around the country so that we can reach people face to face and let them know what's allowed in the recycling bin? The government said yes, which is wonderful. And then we started on our journey last year and this year to run 650 workshops, and it has been very, very well received.
And the idea was to go and talk to people face to face. While the government was doing an ad campaign at the same time, we felt that it was really necessary to actually talk to people about the issues that they had with recycling, to make it clear and give them this new positive message of what we could do better.
Is me sé gráine I gcónail agus tá mé gobar le voice le bliana nuas tá mo lonathe in ar thuaisceart na tíre sa dhéaltach gúnanáil.
So this workshop is really, really great because ultimately it will really arm our staff with the best tools to know how to be very aware when it comes to recycling at home, but also when they come into work they can apply the same ethos that they've learned. Again, it will help us be more efficient as a company, and ultimately it'll just be better for the environment, and that's something that we're very sensitive to.
People really wanted to recycle, but they just were consistently confused about what they could recycle.
I found it was kind of a mixture of people having a lot of goodwill towards the concept of recycling and a lot of frustration about wanting and being able to do it properly.
I think I know what I'm doing, but I find that I'm a little bit confused about types of plastic and also about washing tins.
So most people were surprised to learn exactly which plastics could and couldn't be recycled.
The more kind of durable heavyweight plastics versus the more lightweight plastics.
If it's anything like that, it can be recycled. So even if you don't find a symbol on it, in Ireland it can be recycled.
Does anyone get confused with the numbers of plastics, like what is and isn't recyclable? 1, 2, 3, 4 different ones, or you know the symbols that we have on different plastics, what makes them recyclable?
They were hugely relieved to find out definitively from a very reliable source, that Voice is, what they could put in the recycling bins.
This is what you call a composite material. Basically it means that there's like a layer of paper and then a layer of waxy film and then there's another layer of paper.
I found that people were very surprised about the contamination rate. Waste companies are reporting about a 30% contamination rate in some areas.
No, absolutely not. So you could see that I only carried it over here in the bag and it contaminated the bag.
Yeah, so some of the biggest surprises that people at my workshops fed back to me was the fact that they couldn't package other goods inside larger goods. So they couldn't stuff plastics and papers inside cardboard boxes or inside bags.
Today I actually got a really simple rule of thumb: clean, loose and empty.
You know, so for me it was definitely worth coming, and I'm very pleased I did.
And I suppose we nipped a lot of myths in the bud, and people came away with most of the fog having been gotten rid of.
So I suppose one of the other takeaways for us was that when we had our 30 ambassadors, then they were giving a workshop. Very often there was a ripple effect if you just did one multiplier from our 20,000 people spoken to face, if only 10 of those became ambassadors. You know, we've got this huge amount of ambassadors talking to this same space now. And I think that conduit that we created in Voice, I was very excited by it. It was very interesting to have the Irish Waste Management Industry representatives, REPAC and the government waste regions as our steering group. So the government funded us, but we got this wider stakeholder steering group. And so when our ambassadors were in a room doing a workshop, able to harvest questions about, well, can this go in? You know, do I put my lid on or off? You know, all of those kind of things we could ask right back immediately in the steering group. And so the answers, it was this two-way conduit where the government were hearing the kind of questions people have, and the people in the very next workshop were getting the answers.
Throughout this campaign, our 30 ambassadors have been all around the country reaching so many different people, and we've exceeded our goal, and we achieved 690 workshops, and we've reached almost 25,000 people, and we're very, very thrilled about that. Firstly, we'd like to thank the Ambassador team for all the work they did in bringing the message out to the 690 workshops around the country. Secondly, we'd like to thank the Department of Communications, Climate Action and the Environment and the 3 regional waste offices for all the help that they gave us, and that together we worked to amplify the message of the new recycling list. And lastly, we'd like to thank REPAC and the industry who gave us great insight as members of our steering committee into the waste industry.